Welcome, gorgeous souls, to another episode of Heart and Soul. And today we're going to share about spring energy of rebirth, recreating our life, finally stepping into who we truly are. It's always sort of like a new step. And we have had in bulk around the 1st of February, sort of the first inkling of snow, the day that was between winter solstice and spring equinox. And we're just heading up to a new moon and the Chinese New Year around the 9th of February this year. So it's all starting new. And for me, this is always the time when I feel, okay, the new year is starting, or we are starting again after the dormant time of winter. And it feels so much more like a new start than 1st of January. And I'm sort of ready, energy-wise. It's sort of, now is the time you can sort of start. What about you, Janet?
Would have to agree with you that because it always feels to me January is one of those sort of months where we talked about it before, wintering, where it is where you're ready, you're still in a pause, um, settling the end of one era, one season, ready for the next. And as you sort of say, I've been out walking with my puppy, and you're starting to see little bursts of spring coming through, and those the little buds coming on the shrubs, the some daffodils up in the garden, so that bright yellow, and snowdrops. We've seen the snowdrops in certain gardens, and even I've seen some beautiful white camellias open, which surprises me because to me I think of them as a bit more exotic, but I have seen them in gardens here, which is just beautiful. It sort of gives me that sort of feeling of hope, that energy of coming back to life again. And it does make you feel in a certain way, because we've had that period of wintering and that sort of like calm.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And I think January, if you allow that to be your calming period, and then ready for the energy, that rebirth of energy. And the colors as well, I see, whites and the golden daffodils are two very aware, the colors of, yeah, very rebirth energy. What about you, Caroline?
Definitely, definitely. So you're a bit further ahead. I'm always amazed that UK blooms earlier than we here in Switzerland. But I saw snowdrops and I was sort of like, this is the start of spring, and it makes me so joyous. And I get that energy, and I feel, especially if we allow ourselves to rest more, to be more during December. I mean, December is always a bit tricky with the holidays, but especially in January. And then we are ready to go with the flow, and with the energy of spring. Because for years I've been pushing myself. Oh, it's the 1st of January, it's New Year. I have to do. And then by February I was already exhausted. And then we go against the flow, we make it the hard way. So hopefully our listeners and viewers allowed themselves more of a restive period, sort of getting that energy in the bulb, sort of, dormant. And now little sprouts come up and we can follow up on them. And now is the time to go out there to be more joyful, to be more active also, I think. And we feel it in the energy outside. I mean, the days are already longer, which I absolutely adore, and the sun sometimes comes out and it has just a different kind of energy, and there's spring in the air. People are more outside, more joyful, and truly connected to that energy.
I have to say, I agree with you. I do notice the difference. I suffer with SAD or seasonal affective disorder, and I'm not good with the long, dark winter. And the lighter mornings now make me feel better. We go out, and even in the evening, where it has that stretch where you're feeling it's now almost 5 for us in the UK, 5 o'clock, when it's sort of the darkness comes, whereas before it was like 4 o'clock, and you sort of felt, your day would seem so short, and now you have that lengthening period, and that does really, really make a difference. And I think you're also right, is that getting out in nature and seeing it is very important, because I know so many people are in their routine. They get up, they go to work, they come home, and they don't get outside. And I think it's important to actually, at some point, even at the weekend, if you can get out for a walk in nature and see that, because it makes your heart and soul sing, doesn't it? And it lightens you up. It brings that lightness back, because it brings back that feeling of hope, because everything's rebirth, that's growing back again. And that, for our soul energy, is so important that we have. And as you say, go with the flow of the seasons, because we are here in the Northern Hemisphere. If there's anyone listening in the Southern, you're in a slightly different period, but we're here in the spring period for us. And it is important to accept that gentle flow of nature. And if we can go with it rather than against it, energetically, we feel completely different being in that energetic flow with, instead of going against. Totally.
And still, I feel, because it's sort of just the inkling of spring, sort of that fresh energy, it's okay to also rest a bit, not overdo it. I think in spring, sometimes we can overdo it because we have that air, energy, we're out there, and then we feel tired or we crush. So always, allow that rest, and yeah, really listen to yourself and be gentle. Like, sometimes blooms or buds come out, and then there comes snow again, or a cold period. So they, they have to be careful as well, or hardy. And like you said, just go out. I mean, even if you're in a city, you might have some patches of greenery, or pots of flowers or something. And for me, every day when I go out, it's amazing. I love spring. Something new is coming out, oh, there's a new flower, there's a new bud, oh, there's a little green. And I think that's so excited. Everything is sort of coming back to life, and we feel like rejuvenated, after that. And that bubbly energy of spring is sort of bubbling up, and just joyful. And I think, again, grateful. It's that, I think, that natural gratitude for nature to wake up to that sort of the joy we feel and go with. And well mentioned. Yes, I was going to say, if you live in the southern hemisphere, of course, you're heading towards autumn, and then you can listen to this episode in August when you're heading towards spring again.
I mean, what was interesting yesterday when I was out for a walk, I saw a butterfly, and that was sort of like, I stood and looked at it, and I thought, am I really seeing that? Like, that is not even, you see my dog. Sorry about that. She's to deal with the puppy in here, and she's rather lively and trying to get my attention. This butterfly, it was the most unusual thing, because it's not like you see butterflies at this time of the year. So I don't know if it's part of the changes of things, or whether it was a sign. We talked about signs and symbols before, but I was just sort of like was transfixed by seeing this butterfly yesterday. So that was unusual, because that's definitely not here in the springtime. But I do like to see the buds. And as you sort of say, you mentioned rejuvenation. It's also regeneration, that rebirth cycle of, you know, things being dormant or in hibernation, and then that burst. And I love the way you described it, that bubbly energy of raising it sort of back up. And I think that's a lovely way of putting it. It is like that sort of gentle, bubbly energy. Mm-hmm. So definitely, you know, tune into that. And as you say, maybe it's not a big rush of energy, it's a gentle, nurturing energy right now in the spring, this early spring period. And when you really sort of tune into that, it is so gorgeous. It is very soothing, it is very nurturing. You know, go and, if you can, sit outside, spend some time in nature, breathe in the fresh air, and just allow yourself in that moment of feeling it around you and coming into you, absorb it.
Yeah, and breathing it in, you know, breathing in the fresh energy and sort of breathing it through your body, and then imagine like collecting all the heaviness, all the cobwebs, all the thing, and then breathing that out, and then breathing in the fresh energy. You know, it's sort of like a cleansing ritual of your energy. And I think sometimes, because the spring rain has a different energy as well as winter rain or summer rain, you know, it's different. So you can sort of like imagine yourself washed with that spring rain or spring energy, and just reconnect with yourself. But like the tulips, I mean, my favorite flower in spring is tulips and roses, but, you know, be gentle. You know, they come up and they don't immediately bloom, but they sort of grow, and maybe if it's colder temperature, they sort of have a stop of growth, and then they come again, and just be that. Mm-hmm.
Sorry, she's sniffing around me here. She can smell.
I love the puppy, seeing the puppy everywhere, sort of the head.
She's super cute, but she just, yeah, I need to keep an eye on her today. But absolutely, it is that lovely, fresh, refreshing energy. Yeah, and it's a really, as you said, a time to cleanse, a time to release. As you say, whatever heaviness you've been feeling, you know, a good time to let that go and make space for the new, and allow that sort of the new good things to come in, so that they can like grow. And I think that, you know, I believe that's really important for us, is to realize, to take these nature's energy systems and to use them for ourselves, or attune or align ourselves with them, and use them as a period of clearing and cleansing. You're absolutely right in that is really important for us as human beings.
And definitely it feels like we sort of release like an armor or a protection layer we had, sort of, you know, or coming out of the cave of winter and sort of sniffing the air and coming out into the energy, and embracing this energy and cleansing. And also, I mean, it's with the food we take in, you know, we are more now, it's the newer, maybe fresh leaves or something in the spring energy. Where in winter we love heavy soups, you know, warming things. Now we can eat a bit lighter and do all that. And here, I mean, in Switzerland, it's a big thing about spring cleaning your home. I mean, Don't get me wrong, but I don't do that in a way. But it's a good time, like you said, to release the old. So maybe declutter a bit or gently, things you haven't used for a couple of years. Maybe it's good to donate them. Or also, also in winter, I always air my home and I love that crisp energy. But in spring, you can air your home and let in that wonderful, wonderful energy, that warmer, sunshiny energy. And yeah, but of course, I suffer from hay fever, so spring always comes with 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 the first sniffle. And yeah, and then you want to be very active, but you feel tired because of the hay fever. So just take it as it comes, embrace it all, and yeah, enjoy the flowers and blooms. And I mean, the hazel was blooming for a long time, and I already saw the sort of the yellowish pollen flying through. And what is the other one? I don't know how it's called in English. It has sort of like a white puffy thingy coming out. We'll see.
So find a photo and share it.
Yes, exactly. This is sort of like the first one coming out, and that's really, really beautiful. So yeah, share with us in the comment what you love about spring, or what your favorite spring activity, flower, color is, or share a photo of your early spring. Because in spring I always take, oh, there's snowdrops here, and like you said, sometimes, oh, a tulip is coming out, and then, or daffodils or whatever, it's just amazing. A primula, I saw a little primula,
Yes,
yellow. I love those also when they sort of come on the grass and everything. So
it is.
it's an exciting time of year. Be aware not to overdo it, but more sort of breathe it in, cleanse, let go, and sort of step into the new. What are your tips for spring?
Well, I think I'm absolutely thinking, I mean, what I'm keep coming back to as well is that, 2024 is supposed to be a great awakening of the light workers. And as empaths, we feel this. And I think it's important to also mention to anyone who feels that they're called to be a light worker, that this is an energetic moment right now to tap into, to recharge the energy, because it's really important that we keep ourselves in a good energetic space and keep our vibrational energy raising it up for the good of ourselves and for everyone else in the world. And now this energy right now is a great time to allow yourself to really reconnect, allow yourself time in nature, even if it's just like a walk in nature, to meditate and to take on board, because I really feel it's important right now. And if you are listening to this and not really, you feel that, please, please, please allow yourself that to be guided to go out in some way, to spend some time in spring, in the spring energy, however you can manage to do it, because I know that it's not easy for everyone. Not everyone has a garden, not everyone has access to nature, woods and seaside coastal walks or whatever. So find your own way. And if it is just buying a bunch of daffodils and enjoying that, like really sitting and enjoying that, the energy of them, do that, because it really will make a difference right now.
Definitely. Yeah, I'm tempted. Gonna buy a bunch of tulips. for me. It just brightens up the home, and it brightens up our life. And yeah, so definitely connect with the energy of spring any way you can.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here, Janet, with your gorgeous puppy who was amazing.
Oh, she's quieting down now. Sorry about that. I left the roses thinking, oh, that'd be nice to bring them up here because I got them as a gift, and I thought, oh, a nice little posy up here. I should have had daffodils or tulips, but I have the roses. And she's just sniffing everything, so she hadn't them up high enough. Like that, everyone.
And roses are connected to the heart, so that's perfect for our heart and soul. So they are just amazing. I love the color, the different shades of pink, and
they are absolutely gorgeous. I was so thrilled with those, and yeah, I thought I had to do something with them.
yeah, that's gorgeous. And yeah, thank you so much for being here with this episode, and we'll hear you again next week. Thank you so much.
Love and light blessings, everyone.